Hearing bad news left and right can make us all feel hopeless sometimes. Sure, there's a lot that's wrong with the world, but there are people who show us that with strength and solidarity, anything is possible. In this video, we'll share incredible stories about people with disabilities proving themselves in an unexpected field. So sit back and get ready for some much-needed positivity. First up, Ainsley Hooper and the Geelong Gym. Don't we all love watching mobility-impaired players in sprints and hockey matches? Or visually impaired players playing football? But it shouldn't end there, should it? Disabled people should have access to all kinds of sports there are. Fortunately, there's something happening in the Strong Geelong Gym in Geelong, Australia to fix that. If you enter this gym expecting to be intimidated by buff gym bros, marking the gym territory as their own in some weird invisible way, you'll be surprised to find people in wheelchairs being trained instead. Yes, and not only for physical training or even just a hobby, but for real competitive strength athletics like strongman and strongwoman events. Ainsley Hooper is one of the many people with physical challenges who train in this gym. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. We're here to tell you. Strength athletics is as much a show of physical strength as it is a contest. So yeah, let's just say it isn't exactly known for its inclusiveness. Now, we don't mean to say that people in it aren't open-minded, just that it's such a specific sport that the thought of disabled people competing in it hasn't really occurred in the past. This is why Ainsley and her fellow athletes are so different. They've stepped into an arena no one thought would be fit for them. Our girl Ainsley is actually an anthropologist. She's a wheelchair user and works as a consultant for promoting disability inclusion. So, what got her into this? It was actually after she went through a really bad nervous breakdown as a result of workplace bullying that her partner suggested that she get into weightlifting. Oh, and here's something wholesome for you. Her partner is also her coach. Ainsley has been doing strength training since 2016 and recently competed in Battle in the Bay, held at the Strong Geelong, where she did log lifting in front of an enthusiastic crowd. This competition was special for her and other competitors because it was the first of its kind, but more on that later. First, let's introduce you to the other amazing athletes that are walking a similar path. Next, we have Justine Martin. Just as Ainsley Hooper, Justine Martin also wasn't very familiar with strongman events, but that doesn't mean she's new to strength training herself. In fact, she's had her share of achievements as a powerlifter and weightlifter from the mid-2000s. The 51-year-old Justine's got plenty of medals and some world records as an able-bodied athlete as well. Have we made it clear that this lady is not one to be underestimated? We think we have. Here's the challenging part of her story. In 2011, Justine got diagnosed with remitting relapsing multiple sclerosis, after which she had to suffer through a number of very complicated illnesses and had 3 heart surgeries in total before having an MS relapse in 2017, after which she was bedridden and had to learn how to walk again. Even after going through so much, Justine returned to the gym when she could. This couldn't have been easy for her, but she kept training. In the beginning, she could only manage 3 days a week, but she didn't stop and kept working to regain her strength. Though she never let go of her passion, she hadn't competed in almost 6 years, and the Battle of the Bay was her first competition after her return. By the way, it'll be unfair to her awesomeness not to mention that Justine is also an artist, an author, and a public speaker. She said she loved being in a competition after so long, and all that we can say is that we'd love to see her keep doing more of it. And now for Justin Bink. Justin Bink was also one of the competitors at the Battle in the Bay All Abilities competition. This absolute son of a gun flew from another part of the country to be there because his main purpose is slightly different from most other competitors. Justin is in the game mainly to encourage other people who have the same disability as him to participate in challenging sports. He has a neurological disability called Charcot-Marie Tooth. This condition affects a person's peripheral nerves and shuts them down, which leads to nerve death. This illness makes the muscles in the hands and feet so weak that it limits a person's walk and general movement to the point that they have to use a wheelchair. Justin thinks that by doing what he's doing, he's actively challenging his illness, and it shows that a person can do something even if the whole world and his own body oppose it. This has to be the most inspiring thing that we've heard all week, and we hope you agree. Just as he's doing himself, he wants other people with disabilities to take the first step, go to the gym, and see him as an example of how far things can actually go from there. Now let's see who helped shape this whole thing up to give an opportunity to our amazing athletes. Working towards inclusiveness. Ainsley, Justine, Justin, and all other competitors stepped into strongwoman and strongman sport, and that's remarkable enough on its own. But the reason why this competition, the Battle in the Bay, meant so much to the athletes is that this was the very first time that the sport's main national body, Australia's Strongest, were themselves involved in arranging it. They collaborated with All Abilities Strength in order to include an abilities category in the sport. The person behind this project is a woman named Nicole Brown. She's friends with Ainsley, and that, folks, is exactly what inspired her to take this step and create All Abilities Strength. Her conversations with Ainsley were how she learned about the difficulties disabled athletes have to face when they train strong strongman or strongwoman. Nicole thinks that there weren't any serious or thoughtful steps taken to make the sport inclusive. We should probably mention that disabled athletes have participated in strongman and strongwoman contests before, but none of them were ever truly inclusive. Don't you think that when it comes to making things accessible for wheelchair users, they themselves should be consulted? Because there's simply no other way of truly understanding what's missing. That's what Nicole got right, and that's what's different this time. For example, in the past, no one considered that new, more suitable equipment should be made for disabled athletes. But the exciting news is that that's happening now. Together, Nicole's determination and Ainsley's inspirational hard work have brought change and keep paving the way still. Yes, folks, there's still hope in the world. Here's some other important news about the para-athletics world that you'd want to hear. Ukraine's disabled sport in danger. Recently, Ukraine's Paralympic chief has shared his concerns regarding the future of its disabled athletes. If you, like us, have always kept count of the medals in both Olympics and Paralympics, then you know that Ukraine has always performed exceptionally well, with its Paralympics teams always being on the top of the charts. Sadly though, because of Russia's recent invasion of Ukraine, the Ukrainian Paralympic program is seriously underfunded. With all the funds going towards the war, Valery Shishkevyk, the president of the Paralympic Committee, is scared of irreparable damage to the sports and the athletes. He said, "Today I'm afraid that sports for the disabled in Ukraine will die." In the Winter Paralympics in Beijing, Ukraine won 29 medals in total, 11 of them gold. The Ukrainian team in the Deaf Olympics is also far ahead of everyone else with 29 gold medals. This has been a source of joy for the Ukrainian people and also pride, because the athletes are working hard to perform well while their own families and homes are in danger. We can't do much, but we can say that we're proud of them too and wish that their worst fears don't come true and that the Ukrainian Paralympic Committee is revived through foreign aid. Next, a man from Richmond raising money. We sure love a fun way of raising money for charity. That's why we need to tell you about a man from Richmond named Dan Schmidt who has volunteered to ride a bike coast to coast from Washington to Maine. His idea was inspired by an old expedition named Kon-Tiki. Interesting man, isn't he? He aims to raise $100,000 for disabled athletes. The organization, called Sportable, will be recording his journey, and they're encouraging people to donate and to follow Dan and raise money themselves. We hope with all our hearts that he succeeds in what he set out to do. Finally, Turkey hopes to go big. Turkey has seen a rapid improvement in its performance in the Paralympics, and they don't intend to stop anytime soon. President Erdogan recently said that he hopes that Turkey will do much better in the Paris 2024 Paralympics. The Turkish government said it will provide all the efforts necessary to make sure the disabled athletes feel supported and make them proud in the next Paralympics. As Turkey gears up for outstanding performances, we're excited to see the Paralympics getting the attention they deserve. And that's a wrap for this video. Do you think sports are as accessible for para-athletes as they should be? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.